Hey everybody, so here I am, I'm back. I'm really sorry for like the 2 weeks that I was totally gone and totally like MIA off YouTube. So the reason that I was gone for so long is because there was some stuff going on with my boyfriend's family and we kind of had to take care of that, and his mom came into town and she was staying with us, so I didn't really have a lot of time to record anything. And I saw that while I was gone, I made it to 12 subscribers, so that's like really exciting. No, seriously, like I didn't think I'd make it past 3. Like I had 2, one of which is my best childhood friend and the other one who's my boyfriend. And then when I got 3, I thought somebody was just like trolling me or something like that. And then over the week, like when I saw that I had 12, oh my god, I freaked out because this is like a serious deal for me. I don't think anybody's ever listened to me. Anyway, I'm done ranting, so I'm just gonna go jump right into what I'm going to talk about. So today we're going to talk about privacy on the internet. I was having a really good conversation with my best friend, one of whom is my subscriber. Hi, Nene. All of us are really terrified of what's going to happen in the future with our privacy. It's kind of come to everyone's attention within the past 2 weeks that our privacy has been compromised. So we kind of all knew in the back of our heads that our information wasn't going anywhere that was actually safe. I mean, we voluntarily put our information on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. It's only a matter of time before somebody exploits that. So this past week we found out about the CIA basically getting into all of our business and just ruining our lives in general. I know we're all feeling really anxious about our privacy. Unfortunately, in our current state of affairs, there isn't a lot that we can do to really protect it. As just random citizens and peons that live in this country and countries in other parts of the world, we're really kind of victim to, big corporations who take our information and do whatever they please with it. Yes, when you sign up for Facebook, you're technically signing a contract saying that they have your information, and although they say they're never going to do anything sinister with it, I mean, you really don't have any control of that. I only got a little whiff of what was going on as far as this whole CIA Vault 7 thing. There was a tiny drop from WikiLeaks talking about Vault 7 and how the CIA had essentially been spying on us. We all knew the American government had our information long before this, but it seems like it's kind of just hitting us in the face now. I mean, I always had the idea that, somebody was always watching. I mean, I work for a private security company. I would know. I didn't think it was to this extent. I have this image of what was released from Vault 7, and basically everything that tells us exactly what the CIA was doing. And I mean, it kind of seems tinfoil hat-y, but I don't put it past them, honestly. I know there's an entire list of things, but these are the things that I personally myself am most worried about as just being a regular peon in society. The first one I want to talk about is weaponized malware designed for smartphones that the CIA actually lost control of. Now, we spend all day on our smartphones. I check YouTube, I check Facebook, I check Twitter. My smartphone not only is my access to the rest of the world, I mean, it's another way for other people to find out where I am. It has tracking services on it, and it's very hard to disable them. Every time I go somewhere, like, my boyfriend and I, we go to this one Indian restaurant every Friday. Every single time we go there, I get a little notification on my phone saying, "You're here, do you want to review it for other people on Google?" Like, no, I don't. The only way to really, I guess, throw them off your trail and completely be off the grid is by taking the battery out of the phone. That way you're not connected at all. Unfortunately, unfortunately, iPhones don't have that. You can't actually take the battery out. You would have to open up the phone. So you're kind of SOL there. The other part of this is that they lost control of this malware. That is crazy. You're already doing something as ridiculous and controversial and as conspiratory as could possibly be. You are releasing a gigantic malware into the phones of everybody in the United States, and you lose control of it? That is what's extremely scary to me. You're going to do something ridiculous like this that belongs in some Jason Bourne movie? Fine. I mean, not fine, but at least don't freaking lose control of it. But honestly, all of the spy thriller movies that I've seen, like example being Jason Bourne, it seems like the US government is just a bunch of idiots. They're like the ones who completely lose track of all the shit that they've pulled. Like, that's the whole premise of Jason Bourne. They made this dude into a killing machine. He's untraceable. He's like, he doesn't exist, right? And then they completely lose track of him, and then he goes and wreaks havoc. I mean, I love that movie, but it does really seem like the theme in all of them is that the US government has no clue what it's doing. One of them says that there was $100 billion made from taxpayer money that was lost to the enemy. Like, the way that the sentence is worded, it seems like, oh my god, yes, the US government totally screwed up on this one. And it's so blatantly puts blame on the government, kind of seems like there's something shady there. I didn't really look too much into it because I felt like I was a bit out of my depth already. But I don't know, $100 billion of taxpayer money, that's something that I would be very concerned about because I pay my taxes. The next one I want to talk about is that apparently the Obama administration was investigating private citizens, which as far as I know is illegal. Like, if you're not a criminal, you have no criminal record, and you have no reason to be on the US government's radar, there's no reason for them to be spying on you in the first place. My friend and I were talking about this, and it kind of just seems like the US government is treating us all like suspects. Like, this isn't even like, oh, domestic security prevention type of thing, you know, homeland security prevention, like making sure nothing happens. You are suspecting all US citizens of doing something criminal. You're investigating innocent people in hopes of catching someone. I don't know how much success that's actually gotten them, but I don't like feeling like I'm a suspect for something that I've never done, never even thought of doing. I got detention for 2 minutes for coming in late on the first day of school. That freaked me out. I don't want to get detention. I don't want to be arrested. Therefore, I don't do anything illegal. And I feel like I need to just say that to the entire world. Hey, I'm not doing anything illegal, because I'm not. Oh, this one really freaked me out. The CIA turns shit into open mics. Things like smartphones, things like smart TVs, pretty sure your computer as well. What? I don't need someone listening to my conversations every second of every day. Thankfully, I don't have a smart TV. I do have a smartphone, but thankfully I'm such a neglectful asshole that it's dead half the time. I mean, why should anybody have access to your private conversations that you have with people? I mean, I've told my boyfriend things that I've never told anybody. Why do I need some random assholes at the CIA or whatever government agency knowing about that? I don't care if I never meet them in my life. The fact that you just breached my privacy, especially in a country where privacy is like a huge thing, God, that's just such a slap in the face. The other thing, the CIA can spy on you through your smart TV. I don't actually know anybody who has one, but I'm not surprised. They make it appear that the TV is off, but in fact, they're actually recording your conversations and like seeing you or something like that. And how much information are you actually gathering from it? How many domestic terrorism criminals do you think own smart TVs? This one I thought was hilarious. Skype voice conversations were being recorded and transcribed and saved into a CIA cloud server. How many people? This one makes me laugh really hard because, okay, I personally hate Skype. I don't use it. I use Google Hangouts because I just hate the quality of Skype and I hate everything about it. And, you know, I'm pretty sure all they're seeing on that is like really sick stuff that people do on Omegle, except that they go privately on Skype and do that shit. I'm sure they're seeing lots of dicks and vaginas. Obviously, these are all seriously concerning things. And I'm sure as time goes on, more leaks will be, you know, dropped out. We're all going to freak out even more. I mean, this was just a recap of what happened there. But let's go to the other side of the spectrum, to the completely useless and completely just ridiculous social media platform, Tinder. I'm going to explain this, but essentially the long and short of it is that Tinder is trying to ruin the lives of its patrons. I personally have like a real connection to Tinder because that's how I met my boyfriend. I'm going to tell you right now, we did not use Tinder for its intended purpose, hooking up. So I'm going to tell you the tiny story of this article that I read on how Tinder is basically ruining the lives of its patrons. Dude that we're going to call Nick for his privacy. He's a 24-year-old dude. He's talking to some chick on Tinder. Well, he sends her something and he decides that he waited too long for her to respond, so he decides to call her a racial slur, and I think he called her a cunt or something like that. The interaction supposedly didn't take place on Tinder, and supposedly Nick didn't say it. I don't know about any of that. So when they decided that they didn't like that, they essentially called him out to the universe. They told everybody what his full name is, how old he is, what he was studying in school, and what kinds of clubs he was a part of. The VP of Tinder actually banned him from the app. She was personally offended by what he said, and that Nick's words were an assault not only to her, but to all of us. The people on Tinder, or the people working for Tinder, or all the women who even associate with Tinder are some sort of hive mind. I was actually going to refer to a quote from the article that I read, but unfortunately I can't find it, so I'm guessing that it was taken down. I do have a link for another article referencing the whole debacle in the description. Essentially an app that's exclusively for sending nudes and inappropriate messages to women or men or whomever you are. They're condemning somebody for saying something inappropriate, not even doing anything. It's saying that calling someone a name is equal to assault. The VP who condemned this dude, she used his real name, she spread all this type of information about him. The last part of what she said, which I really wish I could find that article, and as soon as I do, I will post it, snidely and condescendingly tells him in her condemning response that, oh, he's gonna have the hardest time finding employment after we say all this shit about him. You're essentially ruining the guy's life. Of course, BuzzFeed and Elite Daily jumped on the bandwagon as well and put him on blast and said all this awful shit about him. And they shared his full name, his Twitter, and his Facebook, so anybody who wanted to hate on him could get in touch with him and essentially harass him online. I don't support anybody calling anybody a racial slur or anything just mean and uncalled for in any way. I don't really know anything about Nick himself, so my point really isn't to defend him. I also read another article that stated that he's apparently done this to a lot of girls in the past. Problems, I'm going to lay them out for you. 1. Tinder issuing a statement is basically saying that they're completely willing to give out the personal information of the people that use their service just because of something that the person said that they didn't like. They seem to really enjoy virtue signaling. Oh, we're going to completely condemn this guy. We don't like the racism, the sexism, the whatever ism that he represented when he said it to this girl, and apparently he called her a chink. Putting their own agenda over the experience of the users, which is why the service was created in the first place. Exploiting the information that the users give in order to appeal to certain people. What's it hip to be right now? Anti-racist, anti-sexist, anti-homophobic. Obviously everybody is those things. Calling somebody a name does not indicate that you hate everybody from that race. I feel like it doesn't take a genius to know that, but unfortunately I have to say it anyway. My second problem, you're making it way worse for yourself, Tinder, and others. The fact that you even addressed it is kind of saying that you're taking responsibility for what happened. You've actually further associated yourself with Nick by calling him out. Picked somebody who said something. He didn't even do anything, he said it. Your user base isn't stupid. They're very, very much aware of what Tinder's for. He called somebody a name, okay, 2 names, whatever. You realize that there are thousands of people sending dick pics and vagina pics that are completely unwarranted, yet you don't do anything about that. You could have ignored the whole thing because we all know that there are plenty more atrocious things that happen on that app. It's comparable to the argument, YouTubers should be responsible for their fans who are trolls or assholes. No, why should they be? Unless a YouTuber specifically claimed responsibility and told their audience to go and harass somebody, they have no need to claim responsibility for their fans who do things like that. Just like if you put out on your app and you already do that you are not accepting of racism, sexism, homophobia, any of that stuff, and your users do it, that's not your responsibility. You already told them that it's not acceptable to do that on your platform. You don't need to go and call them out for it. Everybody knows that it's not acceptable, and all the consequences that will come with that will come with that. People aren't going to be matching with them. You know, everybody's going to know that this person's an asshole. Nobody needs your parenting to tell the entire world who to hate and who to like. Instead, you chose politics over morals and the service that you provide to your users and sold them out. Even if I was in the market for a relationship, I personally wouldn't use Tinder now, knowing that if I say something, if I even say something that they don't like, not even do anything, my life can be ruined from here on out. So here are my final thoughts. Unfortunately, we live in a reality where everybody has your information. Every social media app you sign up for, every sort of connection that you have to the rest of the world, they have your information. There's only so much we as private citizens can do, but when I was having a conversation with my really close friend, she was telling me about what she was trying to do to stop this from happening. She wrote to her congressman, senator, whomever, you know, to talk about the issue and express how concerned she was with the fact that our privacy is being compromised. I personally don't have a solution. My only advice is that you write to your congressman or senator or whomever and you try to get the word out that we're all very concerned about this. Unfortunately, we're just going to have to keep trying to educate ourselves and others and try to find a solution in somebody who's a very, very large presence in the government. And once we put them in power, maybe they'll make it better. It'll take a very large political power to make a change. You know, the thing in the world right now is globalism. Globalism has even been pushed by people who now own the internet, which is no longer the United States, since Obama gave it to, I believe it was the UN. Now that globalism is something that the entire world wants to push, it's going to be very hard to send out messages like mine and other people's. People don't want to see it. People want to silence people like me and others. If you want more information about that, I suggest you watch the Armored Skeptic and Dave Rubin interview on Rubin Report, because that's a really, really good idea. And no, nobody told me to endorse them or anything. Nobody told me to say anything about them. I just watched it the other day, and I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I thought it was very informative. And I feel like it'll give you quite a bit of knowledge on the future of where we're going with YouTube and the internet. So my advice is to write to whomever you can, try to educate other people and yourself on the issue. I really hope we can get enough people to make this an actual change and hopefully get our privacy back in our hands. Please try to protect yourself online as much as you can. Try not to put all of your information out there. I know it's really, really easy to do that on Facebook, and we all know that that's the point of Facebook, is to show your personal life out to everybody that you know. But I would suggest not really even having Facebook. I personally have had it since I was like 14. I'm 22 now, and since it's changed so much, there's really nothing about it that I find interesting. So I don't feel like I need to use the service anyway. But that's just my own opinion. My advice to you is just please protect yourself as much as you can. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I would love to hear your comments about it and your thoughts on it, because I'm pretty concerned and I'm sure other people are too. So yeah, I'm gonna stop telling people to leave a like or whatever, because I know that's stupid and barely anybody watches me, but 12 freaking subscribers, guys. Thank you for sticking with me, and thank you for being a part of this, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next video.